Learn how to outline or plot your novel. Check out our blog post. We have tips for outlining a novel. It's by our editor, Leanne. Now, authors have various methods when it comes to writing a novel. Some are pantsers, or those who write by the seat of their pants, rather than starting with an outline. Reportedly, Stephen King is a pantser. So, other writers are often outliners who plot their story. The outliners start with the idea. They work with the idea for the book, the characters, the story arc, the antagonist, and the conclusion. And they then outline their story and write it out. Sometimes they outline it in old school way on note cards or sticky notes, and then they fill in the scenes with more detail. So think of it as creating a blueprint for a solid foundation on which you can build your overall structure as a writer. Or maybe think of it as the bone structure necessary before you can add all the muscles and meaty strength to your story. It'll help you. Now, outlining a novel needn't be difficult, so join in. In fact, the more complicated the story, the more an outline can help you, the writer. It's super for keeping your characters, your plots, and your subplots straight. And author Rick Wood, he's interestingly enough another horror writer, he has a very involved writing process with corkboard, index cards, bits of colored string, and he ties all the characters and plots together. We've never seen a plot hole in any of his books. So how do you outline a novel? Well, first ask yourself, what is an outline? As noted on the Masterclass website, an novel outline is a document that includes important planning information about your novel's structure, plot, characters, scenes, and more. It is the skeleton of your novel. And an outline can be anything from a one-page written document to a comprehensive visual mind map. So if you have the space, you can write your sentences on index cards and then post them on a wall to make it easier to view and manipulate the parts. I'd like to mention that there are also many different online writing tools and apps to assist in this process also. So personally, I'm a bit of more of a Luddite, and I like working offline when I'm in the creative mode, but you need to choose an outline in whatever manner works best for you. So secondly, what are the benefits of creating an outline? Well, the benefits of creating an outline are many. You can avoid plot holes and you can keep your character straight. And those are just two logistical benefits. Of course, then there's the benefit to you, the writer. When you're writing something out, it helps solidify it in your mind as well as helps you remember all the fine points. So an outline frees you to focus on the interesting details and it creates more things to write. As editors, we often see writers who have a scene in their head and they can see it very clearly. However, when they try to convey it in their vision to the reader, they skip a lot of the details. And it's easy to forget that the reader can't see what's in the writer's mind. So you have to fully describe and tell your story through your wordsmithing. So having an outline helps you keep within the structure of your storyline, and it also allows you to focus on each individual scene. This method of plotting, it helps you write each scene within your novel just way more fully. So what are the drawbacks of creating an outline? Well, some will say there are absolutely no drawbacks to creating an outline. However, successful author Jerry Jenkins is a pantser and preferring to let the story flow. So he indicates that writing an outline and feeling forced to stick to it would curtail his creativity. So, quote, I write as a process of discovery, so I just want to get at it. The serendipity that results motivates me, enthuses me, and sometimes thrills me. So remember, outlining is yet another tool to help you become a better writer. Ultimately, though, the choice is yours. So try it and see if it works for you. Now, I have 3 tips for outlining your novel. Reedsy is always an excellent source of general information, and they recommend 3 specific steps to help you outline your novel. Step 1, set the stage. Without groundwork, your scenes and your story is going to collapse in and of itself. And that's why you first need to set the stage for your novel outline. This means you create your premise. Now, a premise forms the basis of your plot. In a nutshell, the premise is your book's central idea. You need this to create your outline, which lays the foundation for your entire story. Additionally, you need to cast the characters. So since they're going to make or break the book, you need a strong idea of who they are before you start outlining, how they got to this point in their life, how they think, their desires, goals, etc. So you set the stage by determining your story's premise and the characters involved. And that's very important when you outline. Step number 2, you're going to need to organize the scenes. Determine how your scenes will advance and build upon your premise. These scenes work together and they create your story arc. So it's extremely effective to outline and create a visual. So determine how a scene will reveal your characters and ensure the scene further develops and the characters involved and their overall connection to the story. It is essential. Last, determine how your scenes fit into your narrative arc. Remember, when you have an outline, you can structurally move and reorganize as needed to strengthen your story. And that's very helpful. Step number 3, troubleshoot your story outline. You're going to look for problems. Determine if an idea is left hanging in a scene, or if maybe 2 scenes need a bridge, or if a scene is redundant or gratuitous, or lastly, maybe there's a wild plot hole that suddenly appears. So use your outline to find and fix these types of problems. So what should you do once it's done? Once your outline is done, it's time to fill in the details. So if you're thinking in the skeleton analogy, it's time to put the meat on the bones. The meat is your scenes, your character development, the elements such as weather and sensory information, and much more. And all this is going to go onto the bones on your outline, which includes your premise, characters, and plot. So I have some great advice from Emmanuel Natif, Lit Reactor. It's called leave a room to move things around. Give your outline space to breathe. You don't need to have every single scene locked in to maximize an outline's potential. So following advice from an English literature teacher in college, the 3 most important steps in writing your novel are revision, revision, and revision. Natif further says, experiment, experiment, experiment. An outline is a fluid, flexible being. It's one of the most important things to remember when you sit down to outline, is that nothing you put down is set in stone. You can move scenes around and adjust your stress points as you see fit and at any point in time. So that is the beauty of the outline. You can tinker with it as much as you want until you see a solid path forward. So in conclusion, Roz Morris of Ingram Spark shares this wisdom with writers using an outline to write their novel. Quote, the outline can be as strict or as loose as you want. You might fix the events at the beginning, middle, and end, or you might want to be more inspirational or offbeat with the character arcs, pictures, moods, anything you don't want to forget. Ultimately, the outline is your personal safe space where you can interpret, experiment, and hopefully surprise yourself a little too. Now, you may want to have a professional editor review your outline before you continue with your writing, or you can wait until the first draft is complete and send it in for a developmental edit. With today's technology, you can do everything online, and your editor, they can use MS Word's track changes feature, and they're going to look at the comments and the margins, and they're going to help you improve the content of your manuscript. The editor's goal, ours, is to put your best writing forward to readers and avoid a bad online reviews. So here at First Editing, we can help both fiction and nonfiction writers. Our editors are standing by to help you with your novel. Just ask for a free sample edit. We look forward to speaking with you, and keep writing.